It's a quick walkthrough of A1, Take Charge of Your Mental Game, tentatively titled Understand Your Game. Talked about 6 sessions for this first course: creation, control, connection, commitment, consistency, and competition. And then Reiner came up with taglines for each one that we'll use as we move throughout. So as I went through, I was trying to think of how all the C's fit together, and ultimately came up with something that I'm just going to call the next play pyramid. That we have this foundation of control and commitment. We're always looking to be connected to both what we're experiencing in the moment and our environment so that we can compete. So the ideal state is one where you're just focusing your attention, you're reacting to the present, you're connected and competing. But by being connected, you can always go back into more of an intentional effort to grind, use grit to maintain control, regain control, or reestablish commitment so that you can continue to compete. And ultimately, consistency becomes the mortar that holds the whole thing together. We got some other things going on here in terms of where's the line between just playing, doing, versus thinking, working, and where's the line between it, the internal environment, what you're experiencing within yourself, your brain, your body, and the external environment, what you need to do to get the job done. Practice 1, creation, is start building. What I realized as I went through a connection was we were tapping into that revisit traffic light metaphor. And it occurred to me when I was working on creation that maybe that could be extended to show up in every single session. So the creation side, I thought about this idea of confidence being almost like the car you drive. And it'd be great to have a Ferrari, but some days you got a Fiat and you just got to make do. It's not what you drive, it's how you drive. So we'll start there with this metaphor. Practice 2, control, taking charge. So we extended the metaphor there, said you want to be Uber or Avis, right? Uber, even if Ferrari shows up, you're not driving. You've got relatively little control of your performance where you go. If you can rent the car from Avis, even if it's a Fiat, you get where you need to go. So you decide whether you drive or ride. Practice 3, connection, playing present. This is where the traffic signal kind of comes in again. Know where you are, watch the signals. Right, you got your inner traffic signal, you got what's going on in your environment. Can you extend that metaphor to something that Warburton or Pasek used with billboards that you're seeing in your mind, trying to control your focus. Practice 4, commitment, claim your mission. In this case, you got to know where you're going. So I set my destination for the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. Might not happen at this point, but hey, I'm only 43. I got time. 5 is consistency, enhancing your routines. This is the mortar for that next play pyramid. And I likened it to having to maintain your vehicle on the macro sense. What do you got to do to make sure you're ready to play and you're learning and you're developing? And then in the micro sense, how do you keep driving? How do you work this process in competition so that you can be consistent in attacking each play with 100% of what you got? Last one's competition, performing with purpose. This is where you can become your own GPS. Because in that moment of competing, you're always rerouting, taking stock of where you are, where you need to go, what's next. Your directions might have to change. You might have to adjust your route, but you're still always doing something to try to get to your goal and to make progress towards that. One additional concept that came up in competing, Revisit talks about how it's not just an intellectual exercise, it's a whole body experience, and people need to understand what that state of relaxed intensity or competing feels like for them. So something I'd used with previous client was this idea of a rating of perceived mentality. RPM works nicely with the car metaphor. Put a number on it, like where do you want to be, and then start to map that to the green, the yellow, and the red. You can even put some labels on these things, and now we have a way to maintain, like, am I where I need to be for this moment? In addition to the traffic signal, the RPM is maybe a way to just tap more into a feeling. Everything funnels back into this next play pyramid, and we can start to attach all these individual things that we've worked on or made people aware of throughout the course. So on the control side, your breath, how you can manipulate time, using releases, focal points, senses, grounding exercises, your body language, focusing on teammates. These are ways to regain control. On the commitment side, you got to start with good questions. What are the questions you're asking yourself? Are you using positive performance phrases or appropriate cues? The connection side is all about neutral thinking, in the moment, being aware, self-honest self-observation. What are you experiencing right now if you're honest? And then the competing is just what's important now. I'm looking at my environment. This is what I got to get done. Again, consistency is the mortar that holds it all together. And that's A1. Sorry, I just punched the wall.